Hi, good afternoon, and it's definitely just afternoon. Thanks for joining me. If you're here today, if you are, come and say hi. Let me know that you're here. As always with these sessions, you can jump in and ask any questions that you want. Can you hear me in the background? I'm on two screens today because I want to be able to share my screen, so I asked Jade to check. So sorry I'm late. Am I sorry? Don't mean sorry. I mean, thank you for accepting that I'm later than usual today. I've been to see Charlie's year 2 Leavers play. Oh my God, it was so cute. He was narrator 1 and a pirate, and there were water pistols. It was absolutely ace, and just another of the zillion reasons why I want to work for myself forever. So we're going to talk about Pinterest for Business today. There's some people on, so if you're there, come and say hi. Does anyone already use it for business? Is anyone still using Pinterest themselves? Do you all use it personally or not? It's interesting because once Insta kind of got as big as it did, lots of people seem to forget about Pinterest or assume that people aren't on it anymore. But for lots of things, especially for me in terms of blog traffic, it's one of the biggest drivers. So first of all, I guess, let's talk about why use Pinterest for your business. So it helps introduce your business and a blog to a whole new audience. Like some of the people on Pinterest might not be on other social platforms. And that's a really, really interesting point because Pinterest is kind of a multiple generation type of social. It's less social. It's less share. You don't share your personal life kind of stuff on there. So it's actually got a lot of users on there that might not be on other social platforms, which might mean that your ideal clients are hanging out in a different place. And I also think there's a big shift lately from people using platforms like Facebook, where it's very sharey and you're seeing the news and there might be stuff on there you want to avoid. Our brains are too busy. Pinterest is a really, really great place to be if you still want to be able to get some inspiration for things. So yeah, you can introduce yourself to a whole new audience. One pin can lead to 10 pins, which leads to 10 pins. It is such a shareable platform. So you do have the potential to reach a massive audience. I've got a little bite on my wrist. User engagement is ridiculously high. If they see your pin, the engagement on it is high. They are very likely to click on it. And a really interesting little stat is users on Pinterest seem to be pretty content to simply find and share stuff with small groups of people. And this is really good for your business because it means that your pins are more likely to be seen and they're more likely to be kind of touched as far as you can touch something online. The smaller, more niche group of people that are seeing your stuff, the more likely that their people are seeing it too. It's not the same as social platforms, although it is a social platform. And you might be surprised to know that Pinterest is one of the largest traffic drivers to a website, like out of all of them. So obviously Google, obviously YouTube is a huge one, but Pinterest is right up there. Pinterest drives loads of traffic on. And I've talked about it being multi-generational. Like this is something that my mum can handle Pinterest, but does not have any interest in Facebook at all. So yeah, different audience. So you can use Pinterest to generate awareness, blog traffic, as I say, blogs are a huge one. If you're blogging, you need to be on Pinterest. New leads, increased sales, lots and lots and lots of reasons to use Pinterest. And there are a few common misconceptions about it. So yes, although the majority of users on Pinterest are women, that's not exclusive at all. And it depends on what you're looking for. A misconception, people only pin food stuff and wedding content, but things like travel, home, clothing are highly popular. Services are popular. Like I said, blogs are, but if you have a service, if you have a product-based business, so I know in here we have cake makers, we have clothes manufacturers, you should be on Pinterest without question. And there's this misconception that your target audience isn't on Pinterest. It's very likely they are. Exactly like I said, you will find a different target audience on Pinterest to on the other socials. So I'm going to sort of show you a little bit in the background of how to make Pinterest work, how it actually looks for business, And this is where my two screen things comes in. So hang on. This is where I start looking away because I've got it all going on now. So I want to be able to share my screen. Right. So the super important thing is on your website, you need to be able to have this, where's my mouse? This Pinterest save button. So you will see it's on that image there. As I scroll down, as I hover over the images, it appears on all of the images. So these aren't necessarily ones that you need saving, although these ones actually are really useful because I can save them and then link them directly back to courses, etc. And that's where we end on that one. But for something like my blog, so I can save this blog image. I can go into it and save it from here. Which says confidently there. I can save it from there. And then I can even get them to save these little ones if I want to. Now, something that I suggest you do that I haven't looked at yet, but it's something I very much know about, is these images here. You can make them vertical. So on mobile, obviously this works much better than on desktop. And remember, most people on mobile now, but it's really hard to show you on there. So I could have this image still on my desktop, but on mobile, I could swap this image to be a vertical one, which makes it far more pinnable, which might be something that I choose to do. And is something I'd like to at some point. So all of these, you can click on them to save any of them. So, got some comments on. So if I go back to the top, say I want to save this blog. If I click save on here, from there, it takes me to my Pinterest and I can choose a board to post it onto. So I'm a member of a lot of boards, but if I look at mine, so my Filter Free Business blogs might be the one I choose to save it on. Bear in mind, I can save this to other people's boards as well. If I save it to my blogs board, I've created a pin. Promote takes you to a paid for advertising part of it. Oh, hang on, I've just realised you can't see this part on my screen. Oh, hang on, it's to do with how I'm sharing. Let me share. Stand by. Let me share it in a different way. Let's just see what happens here. Right, that's better. So let's just start that little bit again. So if I wanted to share this blog image, so if I want to share this blog, I would click save here. This is the bit you couldn't see before because it wasn't showing you the pop-ups. So on here, I've got the top board suggestions of mine and then all these other boards that I'm a member of. And I can post to these boards depending like what I'm wanting to share. Go out and find boards that are dead useful to you. So say I want to post to my own board, I just search, I choose which board I want to post it on. I hit save. And that's it, I've created a pin. So this promote button takes you through to paid for advertising. See your pin takes you through to your pin. So here, it's already pulled in my excerpt. So whatever is on for my SEO on my blog. So it's pulled that in for me. The link. Oh, that's directly to share. I always do this wrong. And the link will take you straight through to the blog. I don't even have to change it because it's already on from that page. Now, sometimes, if I find the page, sometimes if you go into, sometimes it takes you straight to your homepage. So even though it shows just my homepage here, it is taking you direct to my blog. So just check. But if you go into these dots and edit pin, here, if my board has sections, I can put it into a specific section. I can put a title on. I highly suggest you do. So I would put something like ways to grow your business. So if people are searching for you, that's what they search. In the description, I would also add something potentially. Now, if it's pulling text in here, I might not add anything else in. But for like pins that have inspirational quotes, etc., it might be that I decide to type something in here. so that it's searchable as well, because anybody searching on Pinterest will be picking up something of these. I hope that makes sense. So that's how you save it to Pinterest from your website. You do need to install this button, however, so it depends who built your website, depends what you need it for. But yeah, if you've got a product-based business, I would definitely be asking your web designer to add you that button on. Or do it yourself if you know what you're doing. So my Pinterest currently, we faff around with this, and we're still learning this very, very much. So my Pinterest currently looks like this. So it's really important you have good quality photos. So this is just my header, and the reason it seems to have so much space around it is because it looks different on mobile again. So on mobile, bits of it get chopped off. So when you do your header image, make sure that you are checking it on mobile as well. Obviously, I can just replace my header image there. So I have my website on. I've claimed my website. So when you set up a Pinterest account, there's a way to claim your website. Give me a shout if you get stuck on that. It probably involves putting some code on your website. Again, I might be able to help you with that, especially if it's a WordPress site. Depending who built your site, you can add that on. It basically it verifies you. You put your little bit of about, so it depends, again, what you're wanting to do. You can edit it all. So we come down, and here, that was when I was test pinning earlier. That wouldn't be one I'd normally just have on there. So you will see that Pinterest pins are generally longer. Interestingly, it used to be that they only were a set size. Now you can make them any size you want, as I can prove. However, the most popular one is still the longer ones. Canva has 2 different lengths for Pinterest, hence why you're seeing 2 different sizes. So yeah, the longer ones will always get you more stuff on. It depends what you're doing. So yeah, make sure your photo quality is good enough. If I go to save, you'll be able to see the boards that I've got. So you can see all my pins there if you want to. Some of these will be for all businesses as we've gone through. As you can see, some of these boards are from some of my older businesses. But then in here are the boards I'm using now. We've just been talking about when you set like a marketing tips one, a design one. So there's lots of stuff still to come. Pinterest has been sat on our list for a while, so actually this was a good kickstart for it. So yeah, make sure you're creating good quality images that other people will want to pin. The more unique your image is, the better chance it has of standing out amongst all the other pins. Ensure your image is of at least 400 pixels wide. Like I said, Canva has ones that will cover all that off for you. If you're having a longer image, for things like infographics that do really, really well on Pinterest, the longer the better. So then within the image, you can use things like keywords. So this is, again, how Pinterest searches. If we go up to search here, so this is just searching my pins because I'm in my board. You can see things I've searched for. So say I was searching for positivity. So actually, it's just going to search my pins, but say I'm searching for positive. It will find me all my pins that have that either. So, well, have it in the descriptive text. Yeah, there's lots from lots of my old businesses. Clearly not that much now. So you can search your own pins, but here I can change it to just all pins. And this will bring up the most popular ones at this point. Like 1.5 million followers. But keywording is a great way to organize your content. So if you were searching for DIY floating shelves and that's what you searched for, Pinterest will pull the pins with those words in the pin description first, but then they may pull other relevant content with DIY shelves floating in as single words. Also, for sponsored ones, they will pop up a bit higher usually. And I'm just checking we don't have any questions. Doesn't seem so. I hope I'm actually properly live. So yeah, the search bar to look for quotes. No, not to look for quotes, to look for keywords. If you start typing in the search bar and click on it, it will show you all the keywords that Pinterest suggests in the drop-down menu. So don't hit space. As soon as I hit space, generally, as soon as I hit space, you can't see these. Let me start from the beginning. No, I'm entirely wrong. which is fine. It just means it's a new thing. It does look different from last time I looked at it. So yeah, type in your base keywords, look for what other keywords they're using, use these. Apparently these are the most searched for ones at the time of our research. So at the exact time you are looking, these are the most searched for quotes, keywords. So you can go look what else appears there. Again, this one, the profile I might love. So I don't know if that's a sponsored one, but it certainly keeps pushing it up for me. Yeah, keywords that you might love. And you can kind of see that they're all along a really similar Pinteresty line. Yeah. So I'm going to come back out of Pinterest while we just finished talking, but also as a search, you can search for things to buy. So all of these, like these link back to Etsy, or you can search for people's specific profiles. So this is how you can go and follow other people. So I'm guessing, let's have a little look, seeing as they're pushing at me. Doesn't say positive quotes for life. I was guessing that it might create something like that, but perhaps you just post a lot of quotes that have the word positive in. Yes, there's lots more research we want to do on Pinterest. However, for blogs, for pulling users back to your website, and specifically for products, like Donna, your skirts on here, Sharon, Jade, Anisha, your cakes on here, will pull people back to your website. Let me just check if I'm following Anisha. She's a great example. Anisha does do a lot on Pinterest. Look at her monthly views, like well up there. Absolutely beautiful, stunning cakes, perfectly in the Pinterest vibe. Immediately makes you want to go and look where they're going. So even if I want to send the pin, but it will take me straight through to her website that still has the maintenance page on. We need to talk about that. I've lost my page. I need to go back. Oh, there. I totally lost my mind. So yeah, you can see her Pinterest is just beautiful. I don't know if she's got boards. Let's have a look. Yeah, she has all her boards set up, and she uses Pinterest really, really well, as you can see by how many monthly viewers she's got, even with such a small following. And this is an interesting part about Pinterest, is that it's not about all your likes and things like it is on a lot of the other social platforms. Your pin will still be shown to people who are searching, and people search far more on Pinterest than on any of the other socials. So it's almost like a Google search, basically, but you have a lot more control over it than you do on Google. So how often should you be posting? I'm going to stop screen share now and pull this back and try and get you back so I'm not looking sideways. There we go. How often should you be posting? Pinterest says like create a new pin a week. But for maximum results, Pinterest is a bit of a daily thing, and quite as many as you can thing, because you can post on other people's boards, and because people are repinning, the content stays. It doesn't kind of disappear down into the ether like it does on other social platforms. So the more you get on there, the more likely you are to be found, and that's not necessarily the same as it is on places like Facebook. So I hope that's helpful. If you've got any Pinterest for business questions, shout up. If you haven't got an account set up, set one up, even if you're not using it. So I talk about this all the time. Try and get yourself a social set up for try and get yourself an account. I've got such bad PMT, can you tell? Try to get yourself an account set up on every social platform. Even if you're not using it, have a header banner saying, I don't hang out here, come and find me on. Lead them to where you hang out. It's one of my massive top tips. So yeah, even if you're not using Pinterest, get a profile set up, have a little board for your services if necessary. Expanding your net without making it your focus is always important on social media. So if your client isn't on here or you don't believe it is, it's still not hurting you to spend an hour just setting up a header and a board with a few bits on that link back to your website. You want to be found in as many places as you can. But if you are a visual business, it is brilliant for you. And if you're a blogging business, it is brilliant for you as well. So that's Pinterest for Business. Got any questions? As always, hashtag replay and let me know in the comments. And I will see you next week, I think. Let me just check this because I do this a lot. Yes, I'll see you next week at 9:30, like usual. All right, have a brilliant, brilliant week. Try not to melt. It is crazy hot and I forgot my kids' hats today. At least I've got the sun cream on. Hey, hey. All right, love you all lots. See you soon. Bye.